Getting married is one of life's biggest milestones, but it also comes with some big financial decisions. You spent months planning the wedding, but have you spent time planning your financial future together? Today we're sharing 10 financial tips every newly married couple should know. So first off, having the money conversation early. So that's number one. Talk openly about your income, your debt, your spending habits, your financial goals, which we're going to talk about in a second as well. And be honest about your money anxiety going forward. So with your partner, you should be having these discussions early on and often. So number two, set financial goals together. Examples: buying a home, having kids, travel, retiring early, starting a business. Those are just a few. All of those have a price tag. And so you might have heard from us with our financial planning segment. We always start with your goals and your dreams because that's the most important piece. Each of those they cost something to do, buying a home, having kids, traveling, extra travel and retirement, retiring early, making sure you have enough saved up. So having those conversations early as well will set you up for success when you're doing a financial plan with your significant other. Number three, decide how you'll manage money. So there's a few different ways. There's just like I guess this is probably not the old-fashioned way, but the original way of doing it. Everything's joint. So your checking account, savings accounts, everything's joint together. Another option would be having separate accounts. We've seen that as well. And then there's a hybrid approach as well, which is actually the most popular, having your own account, a joint account, and then the other per partner would have their own account as well. So you share a joint account, but you both have individual accounts as well. There's not a perfect system to this, so whatever works for you is what works the best for both of you. So number four, budgeting. You're going to want to discuss your expenses for not only the month, but for the year. So fixed expenses, variable expenses. An example of a variable expense would be, one simple example would be like, okay, I belong to a golf course that comes due in February every year. It's not a monthly thing. I have to pay it in February. That happens every now and then. Another example of variable expenses, changing expenses, utility bills in the summer with AC, the AC, especially here in Nebraska, being ran all day with the humidity, you're going to have a higher electricity bill in the summer than you would have in the winter. So knowing and trying to manage those, the fixed and the variable, and then also, so excluding the expenses, you can treat this as an expense, is saving. So how much are you putting away each month is it $50, is it $2,000 to accomplish what you want to accomplish? And the one that people forget about when it comes to budgeting, my wife always reminds me about it actually, is fun money. Doing fun things together. It's not all about saving and taking care of the bills. You want to make sure that you continue to do stuff all the way through your marriage and obviously plan for those. Giving every dollar a job. That's a good way of looking at budgeting. If you have an Excel spreadsheet, if you have an app on your phone, whatever works for you. But sit down together and make sure you're talking through that. If it's not on a monthly basis, make sure you're talking about it quarterly. Things do come up, and so that leads us to number five, building an emergency fund. So what I always recommend, and that would be having about 3 to 6 months of expenses, so living expenses, some variable expense in there, along with the fixed. Keep that aside. That's conservative money. You don't want that moving up and down. You don't want to invest that into stocks. You want to keep that into a simple savings account, maybe a money market that would get a higher yield savings as well. But it's only for emergencies, true emergencies. If you're like, hey, I want a new pickup because I want a new pickup, and that's not an emergency. If the AC goes out, kind of like with our humidity in Nebraska that we were just talking about, we've had it the last few days. When this video comes out, we're probably still going to have high humidity. AC goes out, you want that fixed right away. That is considered an emergency. Vehicles. if you get an accident or something happens to your vehicle. Another good way of looking at the emergency fund is using it to pay your deductible. So I've seen some different ways of doing it. Like, hey, I have 2 savings accounts. I have one that's my deductible or like property tax or some other taxes in there. And then I have one that is just a true emergency. So that one is I'm just going to put money into each month, grow that to that 3 to 6 month range for regular expenses. And the other is for deductibles, health insurance, car insurance, and so on and so forth. Payment. So number 6, paying off high interest debt. So credit cards, those are high interest. When you look at your statement, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw 20 or 25% interest. Now a car might be 6, 7, or 8, depends on your credit, obviously. But if you're looking at paying off high interest debt first, or looking at paying off debt first, you're going to look at the high interest. So keep your credit cards low, pay them off monthly. Don't get into a situation where you have $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 extra on a credit card, and that's getting charged at 20%, because we can all do the math. If you keep that on there for a year on $1,000, that's $200 just in interest on $1,000 for a year. Personal loans, sometimes those are less than credit cards, right? It kind of depends on your situation. But you want to take care of those. Student loans, if they're high interest, take care of those as well. If you got lower interest products, like let's say your student loans are 3.5%. Like if you were going to school and during the pandemic in 2020 when interest rates were low, so you have some lower interest student loans or federal loans or whatever they are now. Maybe you pay those off last. So there's 2 different approaches to paying off debt. There's the snowball approach, and then there's the avalanche approach. Snowball is the most common. Take care of the higher interest first. Take that payment put it towards the next one. Manage that on a monthly basis. Avalanche is just going after the highest, even if it's not the highest interest, but it's the highest amount, and paying that off first. That's the avalanche approach. Number 7. So this one, many couples forget this. Each year, I would say at least on an annual basis, you need to be reviewing your insurance. So you review your insurance. If it's health insurance, life insurance, if you have disability insurance, homeowners, auto insurance, anything insurance-wise, you need to be taking a look at, because a lot of those premiums may change on you. So like with your homeowners or renters insurance, whatever you have, it might go up, it might go down. Auto insurance, the same idea. Make sure you're looking at those to make sure you're getting what you need out of those. Number 8, another one people miss. We run into this on a weekly basis, it seems like. Updating your beneficiaries in your estate documents. Many people just overlook it in general. If they get married, they don't put their partner or their spouse on their retirement accounts or life insurance or bank accounts. They also don't do one thing that they forget to do is wills and their estate documents in general. So who do you want your money to go to if something were to happen to you? Wills, power of attorneys, which is healthcare and durable. Go get those things done, because you have a responsibility at that time to make sure, even if you have kids. I mean, if you have kids mixed into this as well, you want to make sure that the money flows to them if you're not around. Number 9, start investing together. So I'm a financial advisor. I work with investing every day. You need to talk about your 401ks, your IRAs, your Roth IRAs, your employer benefits that they give you if it's a match or however they do it, if you're working. But have that open conversation. Like I do this every day. My wife doesn't do it every day, but I like to talk and discuss these things with her so she has an idea of what's going on. Dollar cost averaging. So nobody starts with $1 million. When I say dollar cost averaging, you're starting with just a systematic monthly investment. And I believe we just did a video on this talking about how it works. So nobody starts with $1 million. Small amount every month, investing over time can grow significantly. Number 10, meet with a financial advisor. So You don't have to be wealthy to meet with a financial advisor. If you want help, if you have questions on investments, on your insurance, it'd be smart to actually ask somebody else to look it over with you, because you might have this already in your head that you understand it, and you might not. So another perspective is always good. We don't just work with investments. We also do like cash flow analysis. So, the expenses and the income coming in, and where's the expenses at? What does it look like for retirement planning? College savings for the kids as well. So that's there's a bunch of different rules and laws in all of these that I'm mentioning. Tax planning, obviously, there's rules and laws that change every year, it seems like. Investment strategy, insurance review as well, just looking over the insurance that I discussed on number 2 or 3 up there. So investment-wise, just make sure you're talking about it with your spouse. And if you're talking with a financial advisor, share your dreams, share your goals with them so they understand kind of what you're getting at. If you're like, hey, I'm going to need some money in the next year or so, and the advisor's planning on a 5 to 10 year time frame, that doesn't match up. So be open, be honest with each other, talk with your advisor on your dreams and goals. And marriage is one of life's biggest milestones, as we started this video off. But managing money as a team is one of the best gifts you can give your future selves. If you have questions about combining finances or building a financial plan together, we're here to help. That's what we do. We specialize in financial planning. So please call, email us, text us, however you need to get a hold of us if you're interested in doing some of this. Like, subscribe, do all those other things. We'll see you later.